When fingers are getting pointed at you for something that you didn't do.
What I do? What I do? Stop fighting.
Now, I'm not going to try and pretend to be the smartest guy in the world, but I'm not stupid. But this video has me feeling like I'm stupid because I just cannot figure out how police came to the conclusion that they came to, how they linked the two together. I want you guys to watch this because I actually need your help in this, figuring out how did police take person A and person B and put them together and falsely charge person B for something that, let's just watch the video. You're gonna see what I'm talking about.
A Fox 6 investigation finds police used force against an innocent man, then failed to make any record of it.
Cooperate. Cooperate.
2.5 years after Milwaukee police did this, the city is writing a check to Michael Poe for $150,000.
I'm just ready to move forward with my life.
According to the original police report, it never happened, and it might have stayed that way.
That man ain't did none.
If not for a citizen with a cell phone.
So you have a group of friends and they're smoking cigars in a cigar bar and they're watching some sports on the television when suddenly a bullet comes through their ceiling from the upstairs apartment and strikes one of the individuals in the leg. As a good friend would do, of course, we're going to take him to the ER so he can get treatment. While sitting in the ER, this happens. And I want you guys to just watch and help me out because I'm still confused. Typically, I kind of know what's going on with these videos. This one, I'm confused, so I need help. Let's keep watching.
Yeah, I remember seeing the
You saw it on Fox 6?
Seeing it on Fox 6, yes.
And a Fox 6 investigation.
You knew it was going to happen, something bad was going to happen after that report.
Well, we all figured there was going to be a lawsuit. I mean, like usually when something like that airs, we figured there would be a lawsuit.
Poe sued Milwaukee police last year, not only because of what happened in the lobby of St. Mary's Hospital, but what happened after.
They knew that they did something wrong.
Would you raise your right hand to be sworn?
Now, newly released depositions offer further insight into what went wrong.
Just a miscommunication.
Mr. Poe was the victim of that miscommunication, which resulted in a violation of his civil rights.
It all started in April of 2021 in a private River West cigar lounge, where Poe and his friends were watching basketball.
We seen a big spark come from the ceiling.
Then I said, oh, it's a hole up in the ceiling.
A bullet from above struck a man in the lounge.
Blood is just gushing out of his leg.
So Poe and a friend rushed him to the hospital.
There's a hole in the ceiling.
Larry's like, I've been shot.
He said, I've been shot. I'm like, what?
Blood is pouring from his leg.
There, Sergeant Chance Bamba says he had no reason to suspect Poe had done anything.
He's, real relaxed, calm.
Until
I'm shot. What the f am I supposed to do?
This man showed up at another hospital.
Nobody had prior knowledge of the second victim.
20-year-old Cameron Lee was in the apartment above the lounge when he accidentally fired his gun, then panicked.
There's got to be another way out.
Jumped off the balcony.
That was a pretty big jump.
And ran.
I don't know how I did it, but I just did it.
Back at St. Mary's, suspicion turned to an innocent man.
We have reasonable suspicion that the crime has been committed.
For me?
Yes.
So here's my question. How does one guy upstairs tell you he shot himself in the leg? He begins to panic. He jumps out of the window over the balcony. He runs away. You find this guy at the hospital or the ER at some point. And from that, you believe the other guy, the friend of the person who was also shot, was the guy who shot the first guy or the second guy. Like, how did they make this connection? Like, how did one person admitting to shooting himself in the leg lead to another person's arrest who's trying to get his friend treatment in the ER? I don't understand how they made this connection.
I received a call from Sergeant Bamba, who had ordered me to
place him in the back of the squad.
Officers William Mouch and Olivia Olson,
It was just the order I was given by my sergeant.
say Sergeant Bamba ordered them to detain Poe.
It was an order from a boss.
Bamba now says
I don't know if they were orders. I refer to them as simple asks.
they misunderstood.
I mean, it wasn't you better or there's consequences. It was for purposes of investigation. I would like you to place him in the back of a squad car.
Olson says they gave Poe a choice.
It's either you stand up and you go to our car, or you can do it in cuffs.
I'm not standing up and I'm not doing it in cuffs either.
Why not?
Because I'm not.
Well, it's
I'm not.
And when he said, I don't want that choice, who escalated it from there?
I don't know.
As she and Mouch moved in to handcuff Poe,
Listen to me, I'm not going out like that.
he became irate.
I'm not going out like that.
Sir,
I'm not going out like that, man.
When fingers are getting pointed at you for something that you didn't do,
but you want to cooperate first.
What I do?
Stop fighting.
What I do?
Stop fighting.
And then
What I
Stop
do?
fighting, sir.
this happened.
Stop to you. You gotta stop fighting now.
It's just basic physics. I mean, we guided him up with our force and guided him to the ground.
Officer Mouch described it as a trained technique known as decentralization.
The decentralization was a pull and push down. Basically, you secure the head and bring him to the ground.
But Sergeant Bamba later decided Poe simply fell down.
Mr. Poe kind of caught him off guard and stood up, and he lost balance and they fell to the ground. Mr. Poe didn't just fall to the ground on his own, did he?
No, he definitely was assisted.
Do you believe that force was used against Mr. Poe?
Yes.
And here's the cover up. Anyone who's ever worked as a police officer, actually, you don't even have to work as a police officer to know this. If there's force used, then there must be a use of force report that's created. And here, yeah, the sergeant's responsible for that. And him not doing so, the other officers understood that he was supposed to do so, and no one said anything. This is a blatant cover up of what happened. And as you heard the guy say earlier, the cop, yeah, once we saw this on the news, we knew a lawsuit was going to come out of this. They also knew it wasn't going to come out of their pocket, so they weren't too worried about it. But they knew a lawsuit would come, and this was the reason they did not file the use of force report in an attempt to cover this up. Let's keep watching.
And anytime police use force, a supervisor is required to file a use of force report. Bamba never did.
Was it because Bamba didn't want to do the report on use of force? Correct. Did you think that was appropriate? No.
The sergeant, who was already making plans to retire later that year, says he decided he could always file a report later, if Poe complained.
You know, if he calls, you can always, file a use of force then.
After our investigation, Poe sued.
So the man in the video did settle with the city of Milwaukee for $150,000. And you heard the sergeant say, well, I will complete the report if he makes a complaint. And if he doesn't, guess what? It just goes under the rug. This is why it is so important to follow up. Things like this actually happen. And by them not filing the report, or by the friend not recording, this would have never come to the light. This is why it's so important to follow up, file complaints, and also record, as we always say. You got to record the police, because these are the type of things that they are doing. And if there's no record, if there was no record of this situation, this man in this video probably would have never gotten justice, no lawsuit, no nothing. Know your rights, but even as important as that, also record the police. With that being said, We the People University, signing off.